Hi, this is Mr. West, and today we're doing a tutorial video on order of operations. This is one that is done in 3 steps with whole numbers, and this, of course, is from mathdrills.com. Make sure to check out mathdrills.com. There's a link in the description of this video. Tons of great resources there, but we're going to work on this worksheet for today, talking about order of operations. And order of operations states that we have to follow a certain order. A lot of my students think initially that we just go left to right, just like reading with any math problem, and that's not correct. We have to go in a certain order. That way, we can always arrive at the same answer, even if different people do it in different ways. You have to follow the same order, otherwise you're going to get different answers. So what's the order? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. What I like about this graphic is it shows that multiplication and division, addition and subtraction, these go together. So whenever we see multiplication and division, we're going to go left to right. Whenever we see addition and subtraction, we're going to go left to right. It's not that we do multiplication before division, okay? That's a common mistake that I see. With this little model right here, we're going to go ahead and start with these problems, beginning with number 1. So we have a couple things going on here. We have subtraction. We see this, which is an exponent, and we have division. So based on the order of operations, let me just go ahead, come down here. You can pause it if you want to jot this down or remember it. I would recommend having this at the top of your paper, PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's another way to remember it. So we don't have any parentheses, so we're done with parentheses. We're going to move on to exponents. That's the second thing we're going to do. Well, in this case, the first thing, because we don't have parentheses. So we're going to start with exponents. Now, most common mistake I see is my students go 3 times 3, and that is wrong. This is not 3 times 3. Expanded form of this would be 3 times 3 times 3. So essentially, I could rewrite this whole problem like this. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to start with the exponents. That's the first thing that I'm supposed to do. Okay, exponents first. I'm going to do 3 times 3 times 3 first. And that is, well, 3 times 3 is 9. And I still have that 3 I need to multiply by. And that becomes 27. I like to rewrite it. Your math teacher likes it when you rewrite it too. This is a great way to stay organized when you do step by step. Okay, you don't just want to say, oh, I did it in my head. No, don't do that. Show your work. Okay, math teachers are pretty picky about that. So the next step, I have subtraction still, and I have division. Well, let's go down here and see what we have to do next. We don't have multiplication in this problem, or we did it with the expanded exponents, but we do have division, so we're going to do that next. So we're going to go back up here, and we're going to do this division. What is the division that we need to do? Well, we need to do 27 divided by 9. We're going to ignore that 10 minus. Okay, I know that bothers some people. It's like, oh, I want to do that 10 minus first. Forget about it. We're going to do 27 divided by 9 first, and that is 3. Now, I'm going to rewrite it again. Yes, it's more writing. It's great practice. We have 10 minus 3 now. So we only have one operation left, but just in case you wanted to see, we're going to scroll down here, and we see that we don't have any addition, but we do have subtraction, and that's what we're going to end on. So we'll come back up here, 10 minus 3, and that equals 7, and that's my final answer. Order of operations, very specific, very neat and organized. That's the whole point of order of operations. Let's move on to number 2. Okay, this time, I'm hoping that you guys can remember, because I'm just going to write it up here, PEMDAS. Okay, keep in mind that these two are going to go together. That was a bad one. Here, let me try that again. These two are going to go together. Let me change the color. And we'll go this purple color. And these two are going to go together. Okay, that's just something to keep in mind. Now, what do we have going on here? We have some exponents, we have division, we have parentheses with addition. We had a couple things going on. But of course, we're going to start with the parentheses. So we're going to start right in here. 4 plus 3, that is equal to 7. So we have 7 squared divided by 7. Now, since we're done with parentheses, we're going to move on to the next thing, which is exponents. Actually, I'm not going to change the color. So we have 7 times 7. That's what that means. And that is 49. 7 times itself twice, not 14. Okay, that 2 means we're going to multiply 7 by itself 2 times. So it's 49. Now I have 49 divided by 7. There's nothing left other than division. How many times does 7 go into 49? 7 times. That's my answer. We get 7 again. How about that? Okay, let me do a few more, just so you guys get the hang of it. So over here, we have multiplication, subtraction, exponents. We're going to start with the I was going to change the color again. I decided not to. All right, so 2, this one, 2 times itself twice, is actually the same thing as 2 times 2. So you can get away with it for this one, but don't think that it's 2 times 2. It's 2 to the second power. I'm going to copy down everything else. So I just got done with exponents. Now I need to do the multiplication. That's 35 minus 4 equals 31. Common mistake I would see. People do 5 minus 4 is 1. They multiply by 7. They get 7 again, which is not correct this time. It's actually 31. Ooh, look at this. So this is a great one. Definitely glad I came up with this example. So we're going to start in that parentheses. And we see that we have exponents in the parentheses. Now, the most common mistake I see is once we're in the parentheses, I have my students just go left to right. That's wrong. You have to follow order of operations again. So don't do 6 plus 2 and then square it. You're going to get 64. That's not correct. We have to do this 2 squared first. That's 4. I'm going to keep the parentheses because I'm not done with it yet. I only did one step in the parentheses. And now I do 6 plus 4, which is 10. I'm basically done with the parentheses. I'm just going to put that 10 outside like that. And now I need to multiply it by 10. So I have 10 times 10, which equals 100. So don't do 64 times 10. You're going to get a vastly different answer. Or I should say drastically different answer. Let's do maybe one more. Just trying to look for, we'll do 2 more. So I'm going to do this one. We have 4 to the third power. That's actually a tough problem. So we have 4 times 4 times 4 is what's equal to that. Okay, that's the equivalent. And I know this is 16. And then I multiply 16 times 4, and I get 64. Minus 10 divided by 5. I have a lot of students that just get in a hurry, and then they do 64 minus 10, and they get 54, and then try to divide it by 5, and they're like, hey, this problem's going to be a decimal. Well, for this one, this is only whole numbers. So if you get a decimal, you're doing something wrong. We have to do division next. Okay, so 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now we have a much easier problem. 64 minus 2, 62. And that's our answer. Let me jump to the last one. The last one always seems to be a little bit more difficult. In this case, I'm not sure it is. So we have 9 minus 5. That's inside parentheses first. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. 9 minus 5 is 4. We're going to square it and then divide by 4. 4 squared is the same thing as 4 times 4. Let's do that first. We get 16. Divide that by 4. We still have that to do. 16 divided by 4. How many times does 4 go into 16? And it's 4 times. If you guys have any other questions on this, leave a comment. I'll be sure to help you with it. I have tons of other math drills videos if you guys want to check those out in my playlist. That's also in the description below. And if you have any other question on any other math concept, leave a comment on that. I'll make you a video. And I look forward to seeing you next time right here on Wes Explains Best.